Welcome back to Birds of a Feather. This is your daily Baltimore sports podcast. My name is Nathan Stroud, and today we're going to be going over the official game preview for Ravens versus Texans. Week 5, fifth game of the season, Ravens versus Texans in Baltimore. Obviously, the Ravens are at home this game, currently sitting at a record of 1-3. Going into an absolute must-win game against the Texans this week. Not this week, tomorrow. The game is literally less than 12 hours away from now. Extremely important game, and there's a lot obviously riding on this game to kind of save the Ravens season because, again, they're sitting at 1-3 right now. You have the Steelers are sitting at 3-1. They're the leaders of the division. Obviously, your goal is to win the division, make the playoffs, and kind of go from there. Obviously, this Ravens team has expectations to win the Super Bowl, and right now, it's not looking too good. Obviously, the injury report is a very long list. We've gone over it throughout this week, all the injuries that have been going on, because that's really all that's been going on in Baltimore pretty much recently is just the injuries. A ton of guys on the injury list. We had, 15 guys on the injury report this week. We have 6 of them officially ruled inactive, and then we have some questionables and some, obviously, people who are active to play. So we didn't really get any new news today in terms of, if there's going to be someone who's going to play. The only thing that we did learn is that Keaton Mitchell, who's been a healthy scratch the past month, for some odd reason, John Harbaugh thinks, who knows, Keaton Mitchell, an extremely, extremely elusive and fast running back, someone who's had a lot of big plays for the Ravens over the past couple of years. He's been a healthy scratch in every single game this year, and he's expected to be active for this game tomorrow against the Texans. So that is going to be good. That's going to be good to see. Also, we probably should hopefully see some more Isaiah Likely usage in I guess his first full week back. Obviously, last week he didn't really get a lot of snaps and usage against the Chiefs, but this week should be getting a lot more targets, should be getting a lot more usage. That's the stuff that we're hearing out of practice and what people have been saying. And also, obviously, Keaton Mitchell is going to be active and ready to go, and he's going to be getting reps tomorrow, which is going to be very fun because Keaton Mitchell is one of those players who you never know if he gets a couple good blocks. He could get a easy home run 79-yard touchdown just off of his elusive distance speed. He's an extremely special back. And yeah, obviously an extremely must-win game tomorrow for the Ravens. We understand that they don't have Lamar Jackson. They don't have a lot of guys on defense, including Marlon Humphrey, Roquan Smith, and possibly Kyle Hamilton. They don't have Madubuike for the rest of the season. So they're down a lot of names, and obviously there's been a lot of coaching issues with Harbaugh and Zach Orr throughout the year. So there's a lot of things kind of not in our favor right now. We are actually the underdogs in this game for the first time this year in a game. And, a lot of stuff is not in our favor. Obviously, not having Lamar, not having a lot of guys on defense, and just the way that we've looked on defense throughout the year as well. It's going to be really all up to Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, Isaiah Likely, DeAndre Hopkins, Rashad Bateman, Mark Andrews, all those guys. Keaton Mitchell, Justice Hill. The skill position players on offense are really going to have to step up. I'm not sitting here saying Cooper Rush is some absolute garbage nobody because he's really one of the better backups in the league. But he's going to have to pull off a lot of greatness against a very tough Ravens defense, against a very tough Texans defense. So let's just go over this game preview. So going over the game preview for this game tomorrow, obviously we are currently 1.5 point underdogs against the Texans. It's not some huge spread. Obviously, the reason why it's like that is because the Texans are also 1-3, and they've also struggled a lot as well. And also, again, we still have a lot of talented players still on this team. It's not like we lost every single talented player on this team. There's still Derrick Henry, there's still Zay, there's still Bateman, DeAndre Hopkins, Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews, and there's still some guys out there on defense as well in the secondary that can go out there and make some plays. But this game is, again, I can't even stress how important this game really is. The Ravens are sitting at 1-3. If they lose this game, they're sitting at 1-4 going into Week 6 against the Rams, which is going to be a very tough opponent with the way that our defense has played and how good Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua have looked on the year. But the Texans have looked shaky. Their offenses look shaky. Their defense has held up pretty well. Their defense is really keeping them in games and holding them up well. And their defense is extremely good. You have edge rushers rushers like Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, you have Derek Stingley, Jalen Petrie. You have a lot of really, really great names on this Texans defense that can go out there and make a lot of plays. So it's not like the Texans are absolute garbage, but their offense, again, they have C.J. Stroud, who's gone through his struggles. They also have Nico Collins, who's one of the better wide receivers in the NFL. But the Texans' offensive line has been pretty garbage, and they really don't have a true run game. Willie Marks, their rookie running back, have made some plays in last week's game, but the Texans' offense is kind of a mess right now. You really just have Nico Collins on the receiving end, and you really don't have a true run game, and you really don't have another receiver that you can really rely on, or another pass catcher that you can really rely on in this Texans offense. So it's really going to be on our Ravens defense here to really hold them and take advantage of some mistakes, because the Texans have turned the ball over quite a bit here in the first month of the season. And I think if the Ravens can finally force some turnovers this year and just win the turnover battle, I think that they'll be good. I think as long as we win the turnover battle, I think we'll be good. And again, if it's if the turnovers are 0-0, which it very could be, again, they're gonna have to find a way to win there. But just taking advantage of the Texans' mistakes. I think a big thing is with the secondary. Kyle Hamilton is possibly playing. It's questionable. We don't really know. He might not. He may play. Who knows? But I'm really looking at guys like Aeneas Peebles at the front, obviously, as a D tackle. I'm looking at Mike Green as an edge rusher. I'm looking at Malachi Starks at safety. I'm looking for the rookies to really step up in this game and make their presence, because this defense is down a lot of leaders, and obviously the scheme with Zach Gore has not been great all season, so you kind of have two things that are really screwing you right there. But they're going to have to find a way to take advantage of a really messy Texans offense and do their best to hold them. Obviously, I'm a little bit scared because the Texans really haven't played that well all year, and I'm kind of scared that C.J. Stroud's going to have his get-right game against this Ravens defense, which is very possible. But if we can just contain Nico Collins, I do think that we do have a good chance of winning. If we can kind of force Nico Collins out of the game as much as we can and force C.J. Stroud with that bad O-line to also be able to have time to throw to other guys like Dalton Schultz and Jaden Higgins and stuff like that, I think that we can be good. But again, this Ravens defense has been horrible all year. So, I mean, I can say this like, we should do this, we should do that. But again, at the same time, the scheme of Zach Gore and everything has just not been great at all. So, again, this Texans offense is messy. I think that our best bet is to try and win the turnover battle, try and turn the Texans over a little bit and just try and do the best to do that whole thing. Because, again, this Ravens defense has been messy. Overall, this Ravens defense has been messy. But, again, holding the Texans, holding their offense is going to be the biggest thing. Because I trust our offense to score. Obviously, the Texans defense is great. Obviously, guys that I named, Jalen Petrie, Derek Stingley, Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson, they have really good guys on their defense. But again, we have a ton of our positional players still playing. Pretty much everyone on our offense is healthy other than Lamar Jackson and like Pat Ricard. Obviously, I'm saying only Lamar Jackson like it's some scrub. Obviously, it's Lamar Jackson. We know how good that he is. But Cooper Rush is a veteran. He's experienced. He's come up in these situations before where your franchise quarterback goes down. Most recently, last season in Dallas, Dak Prescott went down in Dallas last year, and Cooper Rush was able to step up and have some decent performances and lead them to some wins. That's what we're really relying on right now. In my opinion, I don't think Lamar's going to play next week either. I think that we are going to sit him until the bye week and then obviously have him rest fully through the bye, and then he's going to come back week 8 and then moving forward. So we're pretty much going to have Cooper Rush this week and next week, and I also do think that Tyler Huntley is going to have some plays as well. Again, you look here at like Cooper Rush's over-under for passing yards. It's sitting at like a 180.5 passing yards, which is kind of crazy. It's a little disrespectful to Cooper Rush, but I think C.J. Stroud's over-under should be a little bit higher just because of how bad the Ravens defense has been this year. But Cooper Rush, as long as he can just be accurate, as long as he can find his guys, a lot of short routes, I don't really see Cooper Rush going for some deep ball play. I think they're going to keep it simple with him. I think they're going to keep everything kind of in front of Cooper. I think they're going to keep it simple. I also, the biggest thing in terms of our offense and in terms of the main core centerpiece of how I think that we're going to win this game is going to be on the ground. We are probably going to run the ball a lot this game. Even if the game starts to get a little bit out of hand, I do think that we're going to stick with our rushing just because it's the most reliable thing on this team right now, at least with no Lamar. So sticking with the run game, obviously sticking with Derrick Henry, sticking with Keaton Mitchell, sticking with Justice Hill, sticking with those guys, seeing if they can get something done there, and just keeping stuff simple for Cooper Rush. Short passes to the tight ends, obviously finding Zay maybe for some, screen plays for Zay, getting blocks downfield for him and letting him do things, but just the ball in his hand. Just getting your playmakers the ball in any way possible, no matter how simple it is, letting them make plays, and going from there. Because I don't think that Cooper Rush is going to be able to slice and dice a defense open, especially a very tough Texans defense. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. I will gladly be wrong. I really would love for Cooper Rush to go out there tomorrow and just blow the doors off the Texans, and we win by like 30, and he plays incredible. I would love that. I want Cooper Rush to do good because, again, our season is kind of in his hands. If we don't win tomorrow, it's going to be looking very rough because I really do think that this matchup against the Rams with no Lamar and with like no guys on our defense available, or the leaders on our defense available, I do think it's going to be really tough to beat the Rams. But this is the game that I really do think is winnable, and obviously Vegas thinks the same thing. It's a 1.5 point spread. It's not some crazy, underdog, favored situation. It's a 1.5 point spread. And I do think that the Ravens can get this done, but the running game is going to have to be present, and the defense is going to have to force some sort of turnover to get our offense more opportunities. And just the defense is really just going to have to lock in. Simple. That's the most simple thing you could possibly say. This defense is really going to have to lock in. Zach Orr is really going to have to get his stuff together and figure out what's wrong with his defense, fix it this week, and show me that you can fix this defense and show me that you still deserve a job as defensive coordinator because, again, this defense is down a lot of players. This Texans offense has been messy, and if this defense can go out there tomorrow and perform well, get some turnovers, make some great individual plays, maybe sack the quarterback a few times, and just have if this defense can have a dominant defensive performance, I will be extremely proud and extremely hopeful for the future of this season. But again, it's either going to go one or two ways. Either the Ravens are going to win or the Ravens are going to lose. Obviously, the tie is a possibility as well, but we're not going to think about that right now. But with the Ravens, again, the running game is going to be the most important thing for tomorrow. They have Derrick Henry's rushing yards set at 89.5, which I guess is fair. But Derrick Henry is going to be getting the rock tomorrow. Derrick Henry has also played the Texans a ton in his career. Obviously, when he was in Tennessee, he was in the same division as the Texans, so he's used to playing the Texans. Obviously, this isn't like the same Texans team, from 8 years ago, but it's kind of one of those things where if a player dominates a certain team, no matter who's on it, it's kind of something that just lingers throughout the season, or lingers throughout his career, sorry. But Derrick Henry, hopefully he can do good against the Texans tomorrow. I think it's the team that he actually does the best against in his career. I remember we played them on Christmas last year. He put up like 150 yards on them, so again, Derrick Henry and this running, Derrick Henry obviously is the main focal point. He's going to have to lead this offense, and Cooper Rush is going to have to try to hopefully not turn the ball over and just keep things simple for Cooper, get the running game going, and hopefully get on our knees and pray that this defense can lock in and figure it out and just stop the Texans and give our offense opportunities to win this game. I really, really, really hope our defense just I understand we don't have a lot of guys on our defense, and I understand the scheme has been bad, but I'm really hoping for a Zach Orr masterclass tomorrow, which I understand might be a lot to ask, but that's kind of what we have to hope for right now. And again, this is an extremely important game. This is a must-win game. If we lose, we're 1-4, and it's looking very rough moving forward. But if we win, we're 2-3, and then we're going to hope for a Steelers loss. Actually, I think the Steelers are on a bye this week, so we're going to be 2-3 after this week if we win, and then you kind of move forward from there, try and get the season back on track and move forward from there. And again, we'll talk about the Rams game next week whenever we're on that week. Obviously, right now we're fully focused on the Texans. But we're at home in Baltimore. Just get the job done, man. Just go out there and get the job done. Do the thing that you need to do and just win the game. Keep it simple for Cooper. Get the running game established early and move forward from there. But again, thank you guys so much for tuning into and listening to this episode of Birds of a Feather. If you like this content, make sure to subscribe on YouTube, follow up on Spotify. Also, make sure to click the link in the bio to check out the Twitter and the Instagram. If you're watching on YouTube right now, you can actually see all of the names right here at BOAF Official on YouTube. Obviously, if you're watching on YouTube, you could, you know it right now. on Twitter, or sorry, on Spotify, Birds of a Feather in the podcast section, on Twitter at BOAF Podcast, and on Instagram at Birds of a Feather Podcast Official. Make sure to give those a follow. Again, it's going to be in the link in the bio of whatever platform that you're listening currently on, either on Spotify or on YouTube. So make sure to give those a follow. Again, I appreciate all the support. Again, I hope you guys like the new logo. I hope you guys like the new look. I've heard a lot of comments from you guys enjoying it. So again, I appreciate all of the support. But yeah, we're going to have an episode up tomorrow night talking about the Ravens and Texans game. The next video that I post is obviously after the Ravens and Texans game, so we'll know tomorrow, probably sometime midday, like around dinner time or whatever. We'll know what happens. We'll know the Ravens' record after Week 5, and hopefully it's 2-3, and we're going to get back into the season starting, this week, and obviously going into next week against the Rams. But again, thank you guys so much for all the support. Very, very big game tomorrow. Putting our trust here in Cooper Rush's hands. Everyone needs to hope that Cooper Rush can get the job done. Cooper Rush, Derrick Henry, and the defense, go get the job done for me. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for the recap episode. We'll be recapping the entire game tomorrow, everything that happened. Usually the recap episodes are long because we kind of go over every little detail that happens throughout the game. So I'll see you guys tomorrow after the game. You'll have a great sales day. Go O's. Go Ravens, of course, and I'll see you later. Peace out.